The landscape of professional photography and cinematography just experienced a seismic shift. We're not talking about a simple firmware update. We aren't talking about a minor iterative refresh to bump up sales for the holiday quarter. Internal documents stemming from Nikon's monumental acquisition of Red Digital Cinema have finally surfaced, and they all point to one definitive masterpiece: the Nikon Z8 Mark II. For years, hybrid shooters have lived in a world of compromise. You either bought a high-resolution stills flagship that shot acceptable compressed video, or you bought a bulky cinema rig that required a dedicated assistant just to pull focus. You had to choose between the ergonomic brilliance of a mirrorless body or the legendary color science and codec flexibility of a Hollywood-tier cinema camera. But as we march through 2026, those boundary lines aren't just blurring. They are being completely erased. This isn't just a baby Z9 anymore. We are looking at a machine that brings Hollywood's highly coveted Redcode RAW directly into a mirrorless chassis, paired with a sensor readout speed that makes the competition look like they are still shooting on celluloid film. Today, we are breaking down the authentic, verified specifications of the upcoming Nikon Z8 II. From the revolutionary Expeed 8 AI processor to the 8.3K cinema integration that is poised to crown Nikon the undisputed king of the hybrid market. Is it actually possible for one single camera to truly do it all? Let's dive into why professionals operating in New York, London, and Tokyo are already reevaluating their pre-orders for every other brand on the market. Welcome to the deep dive into the most anticipated camera release of the decade. The original Nikon Z8 was an absolute phenomenon. It was the camera that proved Nikon wasn't just back in the game. They were actively leading it. But the industry has hit a new ceiling in 2026. With 8K resolution rapidly becoming the baseline standard for commercial work and AI-driven autofocus reaching zero-miss territory across the board, Nikon knew that a simple spec bump wouldn't turn heads. When they acquired Red, the entire industry held its collective breath. The biggest question was, when will we see that Hollywood DNA inside a mirrorless body? The answer is the Z8 II. Let's start with the absolute heart of this beast, the sensor. For months, rumors of a massive 61-megapixel jump have been circulating on the forums. However, the most reliable supply chain data confirms that Nikon is brilliantly sticking to the sweet spot of 45.7 megapixels. But do not let that familiar resolution count fool you. This is an entirely brand new, fast-scan stacked CMOS architecture. Why does this specific design matter? Because it achieves a mind-bending sensor readout speed of approximately 3.8 milliseconds. To put that into perspective, that is nearly twice as fast as the original Nikon Z8 and Z9 sensors. What this translates to for you in the field is the virtual elimination of rolling shutter. Even without utilizing a true global shutter design, the Z8 II is effectively killing the dreaded jello effect that plagues fast-panning shots. Whether you're tracking high-speed motorsports, aviation, or chaotic wedding dance floors, your vertical lines will stay perfectly straight. Nikon chose to push the limits of a stacked sensor rather than adopting a global shutter because it allows them to maintain the incredible dynamic range and base ISO cleanliness that global shutters notoriously sacrifice. You get the speed of a sports camera with the dynamic range of a studio medium format system. But raw sensor speed is useless if the camera can't process the data fast enough. The real magic happens once that image data leaves the sensor and slams into the brand new Expeed 8 AI processor. Calling this a speed bump is an insult. It is a cognitive leap in computational photography. With the Expeed 8, Nikon is introducing what they officially call deep intent predictive tracking. We need to understand how standard autofocus works. Traditional phase detect AF looks at where a subject currently is and attempts to lock on. The Expeed 8, however, predicts where the subject is going. By utilizing advanced skeletal modeling and kinematic movement patterns trained on millions of data points, the camera analyzes the posture and momentum of your subject. If a football player plants their foot to change direction, the camera shifts the focus plane before the player actually moves into that space. Whether you're shooting a dimly lit, high-contrast wedding in an old cathedral, or you're tracking a falcon diving at 200 miles per hour, the autofocus hit rate on the Z8 II is reportedly north of 99%. It takes the guesswork out of focus pulling, allowing you to concentrate entirely on your framing and composition. Now, let's talk about the exact feature that is making every competitor sweat: the Red Digital Cinema integration. For the first time in the history of hybrid mirrorless bodies, the Nikon Z8 II will feature internal 12-bit Redcode RAW. By merging with Red, Nikon has effectively leapfrogged the spec war and moved straight into visionary territory. We are talking about uncropped 8.3K recording at up to 60 frames per second, utilizing the exact same highly efficient, visually lossless compressed RAW format used on major Hollywood motion picture sets and high-end commercial productions. Redcode RAW, or 3D, is legendary because it offers the ultimate flexibility in post-production, allowing you to change ISO, white balance, and tint non-destructively, while maintaining incredibly manageable file sizes compared to uncompressed RAW formats. But it's not just about the data flexibility, it is deeply about the look. The Z8 II directly includes Red's proprietary IP2 color science as a selectable in-camera picture profile. For years, mirrorless video shooters have fought against the clinical, over-sharpened, magenta-leaning digital look. With IP2 integrated natively, you can now achieve that legendary red skin tone accuracy and buttery smooth highlight roll-off directly out of the camera. It fundamentally changes the starting point of your color grade, that if you're a professional hybrid shooter, a cinematographer, or simply a tech enthusiast who demands the absolute peak of what modern engineering can accomplish, the Nikon Z8 II is the one roadmap item you simply cannot ignore. The original Z8 was a great successor to the DSLR era, but the Z8 II is an entirely new species. Furthermore, we are constantly monitoring shipping updates and regional availability to keep you informed the exact moment pre-orders go live globally. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. We have some exclusive looks at the Z8 II's field performance coming up next, and you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, stay creative, and we will see you in the next one.